Tomorrow, the sun enters Taurus, and with it, a doorway opens that only appears when the universe decides it is time to restore value, turn stolen energy, and finally place weight behind what you have carried in silence. This is not soft energy. This is not vague hope. This is the moment the cosmic scales begin correcting themselves, and for 3 signs in particular, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio, the correction may feel like a grand prize arriving after a season that nearly broke you. If you have felt pressure in your chest lately, like something has been building behind your ribs, it's like your body knows a truth your mind has not fully caught up to yet, do not ignore this. You are standing at a threshold, and once this door opens, everything begins moving. There are rare moments in the spiritual calendar when life stops whispering and starts speaking in unmistakable terms. This is one of them.
Oh.
The sun entering Taurus. Tomorrow does not simply mark a shift in season, but it marks a return to substance. Taurus is the keeper of worth, the guardian of the body, the protector of resources, the sign that asks one sacred question above all others. What is truly valuable, and have you been living like you believe that? For weeks, maybe even months, many of you have been tested through delay, emotional heaviness, uncertainty, and a strange kind of hunger that had nothing to do with food and everything to do with being underpaid, unseen, emotionally drained, or energetically overdrawn. And now, the doorway begins to open. This Taurus doorway is not made of fantasy. It is made of consequence. It is made of accumulated effort, suppressed truth, and karmic accounting. That is why this transit feels so important. Taurus does not reward noise. It rewards consistency. It rewards those who kept going when no one clapped. Those who stayed loyal to their becoming while the outer world looked slow, cold, or indifferent. So when people hear that this is a money portal, they sometimes imagine easy luck or random blessing. But this energy is deeper than that. This is not just about money falling from the sky. This is about value returning to the place it should have gone all along. Compensation, recognition, stabilization, relief, the universe paying you what you are worth can show up as a financial breakthrough. Yes, but it can also arrive as an overdue opportunity, a contract finally landing, a debt being cleared, a burden lifting, or a relationship revealing exactly where your energy has been wasted and where it must now be invested. Before this doorway opens fully, you need to understand the season you have just survived. Many of you have been walking through emotional terrain that felt strangely heavy, strangely quiet, and strangely personal. You may have felt tired in ways sleep did not fix. You may have found yourself staring at messages, waiting for news, revisiting old fears, questioning whether you were asking for too much or whether life had forgotten you entirely. You may have been carrying invisible pressure in your chest, a tightness that appeared in still moments, late at night, in the shower. While driving, while pretending to be fine, that sensation was not random. It was the body registering accumulated tension from a chapter that was becoming too small for your soul. This is what people often miss about cosmic preparation. Before abundance arrives, the system frequently exposes every place where you have normalized depletion. Before the reward, there is revelation. Before the restoration, there is inventory. The pressure many of you have felt was not only stress, it was compression. Life has been pressing on your spirit to show you where you have been accepting less, settling for fragments, shrinking to be digestible, or making peace with delays that were never meant to become your identity. You were not being punished. You were being positioned, and positioning rarely feels glamorous while it is happening. There is also something karmic moving through this 4-day window that must be taken seriously. Taurus energy is ancient. It governs what lasts, what nourishes, what roots, what grows slowly enough to become real. When the sun enters this sign, illusion begins losing strength. You start seeing the difference between what only excites you and what actually sustains you. You begin noticing where you are fed and where you are drained, where you are cherished and where you are merely used, where your work is building a future and where it is quietly burying your self-respect. That is why this doorway can feel both beautiful and confrontational. It does not only bring gifts, it brings truth about what must not continue. And if you have been waiting for a sign, this is it. If your intuition has been louder lately, if your dreams have been more vivid, if old memories have been surfacing without warning, if your nervous system has felt both exhausted and alert at the same time, it is because your inner world has already sensed that the threshold is near. Tomorrow begins a shift from chasing to receiving, from forcing to aligning, from confusion to valuation. But that shift only works if you are willing to stand in the doorway without dragging your old scarcity identity behind you. That is the real catch in this energy. The cosmic door does not stay open for long, and it does not open for the version of you that still argues against your worth. It opens for the version of you that is ready to stop bargaining with what should already be yours. The universe can place opportunities in front of you, but if you are still attached to the role of the one who waits, over-explains, overgives, undercharges, and underestimates what you bring, then even a blessing can feel like a test you are not ready to pass. This is why this moment matters. It is not only about what is coming to you, it is about who you become when it arrives. Emotionally, this transit may feel like a release after a long internal winter. Not sudden euphoria, not instant perfection, but a noticeable thaw. Some of you may cry for reasons you cannot fully explain. Some of you may feel deep calm where there was panic. Others may feel grief rising just before relief arrives, because whenever the body realizes danger is passing, it often releases what it was holding. You may feel a wave of exhaustion, then clarity. You may feel restless 1 hour and grounded the next. You may feel the urge to clean your space, cancel what no longer feels right, protect your peace, eat more slowly, speak less, or withdraw from chaotic people without guilt. These are not small moods. These are spiritual indicators that your system is preparing to receive differently. The chest pressure mentioned in this message deserves attention because it reflects something central to Taurus energy. Taurus rules safety, survival, and embodied trust. When your life has been unstable, when your efforts have not matched your returns, when love has felt uncertain, or money has felt delayed, the heart space often begins carrying the burden of what the mind cannot solve. That pressure in the chest may be the residue of waiting too long for a breakthrough. It may be grief over time lost. It may be anger over being undervalued. It may be your spirit trying to tell you that a cycle is ending and your body is caught between bracing and believing. Be gentle with yourself here. The doorway asks for presence, not panic. Mentally, many viewers may notice a sudden sharpening. Things that felt confusing may begin becoming obvious. People who spoke in mixed signals may become easier to read. Offers that once looked attractive may start revealing hidden costs. You may realize you were not indecisive. You were simply waiting for your inner compass to stop being disrupted by pressure. Taurus stabilizes the signal. It returns you to your senses, literally and spiritually. What do you see now? What feels true in your body now? What no longer needs a second chance? This transit brings a quieter kind of intelligence, but it is powerful because it is rooted in reality. Spiritually, this doorway carries a message about deservedness, not entitlement. It's not ego, deservedness. There is a difference. Entitlement demands without depth. Deservedness comes from alignment, labor, integrity, and readiness. Many of you have spent too long apologizing for wanting more while carrying more than most people can see. The universe is not asking whether you have suffered enough to receive. It is asking whether you are willing to receive without sabotaging the flow once it begins. Can you let support in? Can you stop romanticizing struggle? Can you allow a chapter of stability without waiting for something to go wrong? These questions are part of the doorway to asterisk now. Let us talk about money, because this is one of the strongest dimensions of this transit. When the sun enters Taurus, the collective begins, reorienting around value, security, assets, resources, and long-term gain. For some of you, this may show up as literal cash movement. Payment comes through. A client says yes, a raise is discussed, a product sells, a hidden opportunity becomes visible, delayed result finally arrives. But what makes this different from ordinary financial movement is the emotional frequency beneath it. This is money tied to self-worth. This is why some viewers may feel almost emotional at the thought of relief, because the breakthrough is not just about numbers. It is about what those numbers symbolize: respect, proof, safety, space to breathe, space to choose. Be very aware during this 4-day window of what comes toward you and what leaves your life at the same time. Taurus is not only about receiving more, it is also about stopping the leaks. Sometimes abundance does not enter until the drain is acknowledged. Where is your energy being overdrawn? Or are you spending to soothe emotions instead of solve them? Or are you investing in people, projects, or patterns that do not nourish your future? A portal of wealth is also a portal of discernment. Some of you will be guided to protect money, not just pursue it. Others will be shown that the next level of income requires a next level of boundaries. Abundance without structure becomes chaos. Taurus does not bless chaos. It blesses stewardship. If you run a business, work for yourself, create content, negotiate fees, or depend on your own consistency, this transit may bring a sharp realization around pricing, positioning, or trust. In your own value, you may suddenly see that you have been leaving money on the table not because the world had nothing to offer, but because you were still using old numbers to measure new power. You may understand that stability is not built by constantly proving yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. It is built by becoming so clear in your worth that your energy stops scattering. This is a major recalibration period for how you earn, how you spend, and how you allow material support to meet you. And if your finances have been under strain, do not treat this message as pressure to perform miracles overnight. Treat it as sacred timing. Taurus energy builds, it roots, it strengthens. Even a single clear decision made in this window can shift the entire month ahead. One boundary, one conversation, one application, one yes, one no, one refusal to undercharge, one commitment to save what used to disappear, one decision to stop funding your own self-doubt. These are not small acts. Under Taurus, practical choices become spiritual architecture. Your body is also part of this story. In fact, under this transit, the body may become the loudest messenger of all. Some viewers may feel more fatigued than usual, as if the nervous system is finally asking for repayment after a season of overfunctioning. Others may feel unusually thirsty, emotionally raw, or sensitive to noise, crowds, conflict, and overstimulation. Sleep patterns may shift. Dreams may intensify. Appetite may change. The body may ask for simplicity. More water, more rest, less urgency, less scrolling, fewer chaotic people. Taurus reminds you that your spirit does not live outside your body, it moves through it. And if you want to receive more, you must create a body environment that can hold more. Pay attention to what your body rejects over the next few days. It's not only food, but environments, tones, invitations, and expectations. You may find that your system no longer tolerates what it used to tolerate. That is not weakness. That is refinement. Your body is learning the difference between stimulation and nourishment. If something leaves you depleted, heavy, anxious, or strangely disconnected from yourself, notice it. This doorway is not only paying you in money, it is teaching you to stop paying with your life force for things that should never cost that much. Nowhere will this become more obvious than in relationships and communication. This part of the transit is sharp, and it may be one of the most emotionally defining. Taurus does not enjoy games. It does not admire inconsistency. It does not romanticize confusion. Under this energy, people reveal themselves through pattern, not promise. That means if someone has been giving you mixed signals, emotional crumbs, hot and cold affection, or vague language that keeps you suspended, the doorway may expose that dynamic with startling clarity. You may stop feeling addicted to the uncertainty. You may suddenly become tired of interpreting what should have been said plainly. And that exhaustion may be the beginning of your freedom. For those in relationships, this transit asks whether what you are building is real enough to hold weight. Can the bond carry truth, money, stress, emotional honesty, and long-term reality? Or is it sustained mostly by chemistry, fantasy, or mutual avoidance? Taurus wants mature love, grounded love, love that feeds, steadies, and protects. If a connection has depth, this transit can strengthen it. Practical talks may go better than expected. Shared plans may become clearer. Commitment may deepen. But if a relationship has been avoiding truth, the silence may become too loud to ignore. What is unsaid begins shaping the atmosphere. What is inconsistent begins feeling unsafe. And what once seemed tolerable may suddenly feel beneath your self-respect. For those who are single or in undefined situations, this doorway brings a lesson about standards, not walls. Standards. The universe paying you what you are worth also applies to love. Are you available for a connection that matches your depth, or are you still entertaining what merely distracts you from loneliness? Are you watching actions, or are you still being softened by words that have no structure behind them? Taurus energy makes one thing very clear. Affection without consistency is not devotion. Attention without effort is not investment. Attraction without safety is not alignment. During this window, the behavior of others may become almost painfully revealing. Let it Truth is expensive at first, but confusion costs more. Communication under this transit works best when it is slow, direct, and rooted in reality. One honest conversation can do more than 10 emotionally scattered ones. One clear boundary can save weeks of resentment. One admission, either from you or from someone else, can rearrange the emotional map completely. This is not the time to chase closure from people who profit from keeping things vague. It is the time to watch, listen, and trust what consistency shows you. Taurus teaches that truth has weight. It lands. It stays. It does not need to be repeated in 10 different forms to be real. So what should you do during this window? First, slow down enough to hear yourself. Not the fear voice, not the scarcity voice, the deeper one. It's the one beneath the noise. There is guidance trying to reach you, but it will not fight chaos to do it. Create room. Put the phone down longer than usual. Pay attention to what thought keeps returning. Notice what decision feels heavy because it is wrong, and what decision feels scary because it is right. Those are not the same thing. Protect your money, protect your body, protect your attention. If someone or something keeps pulling you out of yourself, step back. If an opportunity appears, do not rush from hunger. Meet it from self-respect. This is also a powerful time to write things down, not performative manifesting. Real inventory. What are you no longer available for? What has this last chapter taught you about effort, energy, and worth? Where do you need to stop negotiating against yourself? Or have you mistaken endurance for destiny? Taurus favors what is written, named, grounded, and made tangible. Clarity becomes stronger when it leaves the fog of your mind and enters form. Let the doorway see that you are serious. And now, we need to speak directly to the 3 signs most affected, because this transit is not touching everyone in the same way. For Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio, this doorway may not feel subtle at all. It may feel like fate finally choosing a side. Taurus, this is your doorway. Tomorrow the sun enters your sign, and what opens for you is not just luck, it is return. You have been carrying more than you have admitted, and some of it has been invisible even to the people closest to you. There has been pressure around identity, money, timing, and emotional stamina. You may have questioned whether your steadiness was leading anywhere, whether your patience had become a trap, whether your silence had cost you too much. But this transit arrives like a hand on the shoulder of your soul, saying enough waiting to be seen, enough doubting your pace, enough confusing delay with denial. Over the next 4 days, you may feel a powerful shift in confidence, finances, or recognition. Something may finally validate what you knew all along. But Taurus, the jackpot here is not only external, it is internal. It is the moment you stop asking permission to value yourself correctly. Once that happens, your decisions change, your standards change, your earnings change, and your future changes with them. For some Taurus viewers, this may show up as money, an offer, a breakthrough, or relief around resources. For others, it may arrive as a profound decision to stop settling in love, work, or self-image. Either way, the message is the same. You are not here to live at half-worth. The doorway is asking you to step through with dignity. No more apologizing for what you need. No more discounting your gifts because others failed to recognize them in time. What is meant for you now wants substance, not struggle. Let yourself receive it. Leo, your reading is fiery, but not in the way people expect. You have been under pressure to prove, perform, hold everything together. Keep your heart lit, even when life has felt strangely unrewarding. There may have been moments recently when your pride was touched, your loyalty was tested, or your generosity felt taken for granted. And beneath all of that, there has been a deeper ache, the desire to be met, not merely admired. The Taurus doorway activates your relationship with recognition and reward in a very real way. This can be a breakthrough period for career movement, visibility, or money tied to your talents. But Leo, the deeper win is this. You are being asked to stop performing your worth and start inhabiting it. That distinction matters. Performing worth makes you chase applause. Inhabiting worth makes you choose environments that already understand your value. During this 4-day window, you may see very clearly where your light is respected and where it is only consumed. You may be offered something that restores confidence. You may also be shown where you have remained too available to people who enjoy your warmth but cannot hold your depth. Do not ignore what becomes obvious now. Your jackpot may come through career, money, or opportunity, but it may also come through one sacred refusal. One no that protects your future more than any yes ever could. Leo, this doorway is opening because the universe is ready to reward authenticity, not exhaustion. Step through as your full self, not your most acceptable one. Scorpio, yours may be the most intense reading of all. You have been changing in ways that few people can fully understand. There has been death and rebirth happening beneath the surface, and the pressure you have felt in your chest may be especially strong because your spirit has known that a major threshold was approaching. Scorpio does not change lightly. You transform through fire, grief, truth, and deep internal honesty. And lately, you may have been confronting themes around trust, betrayal, value exchange, emotional reciprocity, and whether what you give is ever truly met. Taurus's doorway stands directly across from your sign, which means it activates the axis of self and other, possession and surrender, intimacy and value. In simple terms, Scorpio, this is the moment the universe begins showing you what and who can actually meet you. For some Scorpio viewers, the jackpot may come through a relationship, a contract, a collaboration, or a financial shift that changes the emotional weather around you. For others, it may come through release, the ending of a draining attachment, the recognition that your loyalty has been too expensive, or the sudden clarity that allows you to reclaim your power without revenge, without begging, and without backward glances. Scorpio, your lesson in this window is not only about receiving more, it is about receiving better. Better treatment, better exchange, better honesty, better timing. You have survived enough to know the difference between intensity and truth. Now the doorway asks you to choose truth, even if it changes everything. What unites these three signs, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio, is that each has been tested around worth in a different language. Taurus through endurance, Leo through recognition, Scorpio through exchange. And now, all three stand before the same threshold. The universe is correcting value. The question is whether you are ready to stop clinging to the versions of life that kept you hungry. As we move toward, understand this clearly. Not every opportunity is the prize. Not every person who returns is part of the blessing. Not every open door is your doorway. This is why inner steadiness matters. The more grounded you are, the easier it becomes to recognize what carries peace, weight, and future. Taurus energy is not dazzled by glitter. It chooses what lasts. Let that be your guide. If something arrives with chaos attached, look closer. If something arrives with quiet certainty, respect it. The soul often knows before the ego does. This is a moment to trust what has been ripening beneath the surface. The chest pressure, the waiting, the fatigue, the emotional inventory, the strange stillness before movement. None of it was meaningless. You were being brought to the doorway. Now that you were here, you must not reduce this moment by treating it like every other one. This is where everything changes for the viewers who are willing to meet the change with equal seriousness. So tomorrow, when the sun enters Taurus, breathe differently, walk differently, decide differently, take to yourself differently. Do not act like someone who is still bracing for disappointment. Do not keep negotiating with energies that already showed you their limits. Stand in the threshold like someone who knows they are no longer available for underpayment in any form, financial, emotional, spiritual, or relational. Because that is the real grand prize, not just the money, not just the breakthrough, the restoration of your standard. And if this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, that is not coincidence. The doorway opens for those who are ready to hear the knock. The universe is not late, it's precise. What has been delayed may now become defined. What has been heavy may now begin to move. What has been withheld may now return with interest. But only if you remember this: your worth was never missing. It was waiting for you to stop abandoning it. Taurus is the doorway, and what comes through, it may finally carry the weight, the reward, and the recognition your soul has been praying for in silence. Step carefully, step consciously, but above all, step forward.